What a mistake. What an absolute self-inflicted shot in the foot by the FTC and 48 attorney generals. And I'll explain why at length. Let me first, however, give you an update out of Georgia. You know, the Republicans have to win those seats. Perdue and Loeffler have to win. Not only to maintain control of the Senate, everything depends upon that. You've heard the president talk about that. The president's been 100% behind them. Here's what he said in Georgia on Saturday, cut number 5.
If you don't vote, the socialists and the communists win. They win. Georgia patriots must show up and vote for these two incredible people. And I'm telling you, they're two of the finest people you'll ever meet.
Here's what he also said at that rally, cut number 8.
David's opponent, we're gathered here tonight to ensure, a very important word, ensure, because these are two great, great people that I know so well and respected by everybody in Washington and beyond, that David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler win the most important congressional runoff probably in American history. I really believe that. I think it's in American history.
And then, on the other hand, this is what Chuck Schumer says to you people in Atlanta. The radio ratings came out yesterday on Atlanta, and I'm in the top 10 in the morning. All the people being listened to in the morning, bigger than any of these television shows. You're all listening to me driving to work. That's good. It's true in Macon. It's true in Savannah. It's true all over the state. Here's what Chuck Schumer thinks about your state. He wants to annex it to Manhattan. Cut number 1.
Now we take Georgia, and then we change the world. Yeah!
I'm sorry, can you repeat that, Mr. Schumer?
Now we take Georgia, and then we change America.
Oh, yeah, I love Chuck Schumer. He makes it so easy for me because he makes it obvious for you people in Georgia what he's up to. You early risers, you're going to work. You're going to spend your whole day working. And Chuck Schumer wants to raise your taxes. He wants to destroy the defenses of America, cut/slash defense funding, defund the police, as does Raphael Warnock, as does John Ossoff, the lightweight left of AOC, empty suit. Raphael Warnock is so left-wing, they got a grab now from his 2016 sermon on Fidel Castro. Cut number 9.
We pray for the people of Cuba in this moment. We remember Fidel Castro, whose legacy is complex. Don't let anybody tell you a simple story. Life usually isn't very simple. His legacy is complex. Kind of like America's legacy is complex.
Fidel Castro's legacy is not complex. He is a tyrant killer. He is a despot. That's like saying Hitler's legacy is complex. Stalin's legacy is complex. Mao's legacy is complex. No, they're not. They're communist killers. Fidel Castro is a communist killer. Raphael Warnock saying that Castro's legacy is complex simply disqualifies him from the Senate. And if you're listening to me, tell all your friends. I'll play it again. This isn't a soundbite snatched away. Neither is this. You know what Raphael Warnock said about the military? Cut number 4.
America, nobody can serve God and the military.
That's not complex. Neither is this. Cut number 9, Raphael Warnock.
We pray for the people of Cuba in this moment. We remember Fidel Castro, whose legacy is complex. Don't let anybody tell you a simple story. Life usually isn't very simple. His legacy is complex. Kind of like America's legacy is complex.
Stop right there. America's legacy is not complex. It is of a flawed beginning and now full fruition of freedom, always expanding unless the left wins like Raphael Warnock. More freedom, more liberty, more growth, more happiness. Eric Swalwell got caught in a honeypot. He got seduced by a Chinese spy. He should have resigned yesterday. Instead, he went on Jim Sciutto yesterday and blamed Donald Trump for sleeping with a Chinese honeypot. Cut number 12.
And I was a little surprised to read about my cooperation in that story because the story says that, there was never a suspicion of wrongdoing on my part, and all I did was cooperate. And the FBI said that yesterday. But the wrongdoing here, Jim, is that at the same time this story was being leaked out, is the time that I was working on impeachment on the House Intelligence and Judiciary Committees. And if this is a
Stop.
country where...
He is not a victim. He's a dupe. He got duped by a Chinese Communist Party spy, and he slept with her. I don't know if he was married at the time. I haven't looked into that. If you sleep with a Chinese Communist spy, have the decency to leave the Intel Committee. It's why Ron Burr had to leave the Intel Committee in North Carolina, because they've been compromised. You got to get off. Eric Swalwell has got to get off. Rick Grinnell explained this on Hannity last night on Fox News with Hannity, the former director of national intelligence, Rick Grinnell, cut number 15.
Look, I think it's even worse than just hypocrisy. We're accustomed to hypocrisy in Washington, D.C. But you said it right, Sean, that, look, Russia is a problem. But China is a crisis, and we've known it's been a crisis for a very long time. I think that there needs to be a Gang of Eight, this intelligence group investigation. Certainly, acting chairman Marco Rubio and Chairman Schiff should immediately call the intelligence committees together. They should get a confidential classified briefing on what Eric Swalwell knew and how much did he give away. Because the reality is he spent years downplaying the China threat and overhyping the Russian threat. This is playing exactly into what the Chinese want people to do. They want to be under the radar. Eric Swalwell did exactly what the Chinese wanted. We need to figure out, are there others? And I can tell you, without giving away too much intelligence, this is the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the leverage that China is putting on our politicians. There's many, many more.
Wouldn't the Bidens be up there in that category?
There's a variety of mayors, governors, senior people. Look, the other thing that we've got to point to is that Eric Swalwell
I can't let you
said,
gloss over that. Mayors, governors, senior officials, what?
There's a whole bunch, Sean, and more should be coming out. They've all received defensive briefings, and there's a lot more to it. This is the tip of the iceberg.
This is one of many spies, but Eric Swalwell is the one she bedded. Who knows what their pillow talk was? He should be out of the Congress today, and I will be back to tell you more after the break. It's the Hugh Hewitt Show.